Live.
Do it live.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the dumbest show in all of Disney podcasting. We're the Diz Idiots. We're the idiots. So you don't have to be. Coming to you tonight live.
Is it really the dumbest show?
I don't know. Look, I'm ripping off Hoovie's Garage intro, so where his claim to fame is being the dumbest automotive show in all of YouTube. And he very well may be.
If you're going to do something, you might as well be the best at it, and we're the best dumb show.
Fair enough.
We're at least the least scripted, I think.
No, 100%. Talent borrows, genius steals. I stole that from an actor of a Broadway flop who, to quote himself, he goes, if you're going to be in a flop, you might as well be in the biggest.
Absolutely. But, I'm Dozer. That's Bruce.
What's up?
That's Brian.
Thumbs down?
I naturally went to point down, and that's what happened, but that's why I changed it.
Lives.
And Joaquin Phoenix has his appearance.
What, you're the best travel agent at all of Love the Mouse Travel.
I try. That's 2 more from my books. Thanks for the business, you two. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
You.
Enjoy your 2 days at Disney and enjoy your cruise.
Thank you.
Seriously, let us know about the Wish. I am dying to know a report back on that.
I'm excited too. Meg was trying to decide what to do for Bella's birthday, and then she watched a ship tour of the Wish, and she's like, "We're doing the Wish."
There you go.
And I'm like, "Oh, but the Dream's doing a 7-night."
Dream.
That was cheaper than the 4-night.
Well, let me ask you this. Are you going to spend $5,000 on that alcoholic beverage in the hyperspace lounge?
No.
I didn't think so. I don't
And
know.
it was at that moment that hell froze over. If Dozer said yes.
You had a better shot of me buying the bottle of wine from Ratatouille that is on the Wish, that is on the Dream and Fantasy.
How much is the bottle of wine?
Like $7,800.
What kind of wine is it?
Old.
Thanks for that.
No, 1920s old.
Ooh, that is old.
Legit
That is
old.
Yeah.
aged. That's chef's kiss.
I'm just wondering, though, who would spend $5,000? Now, granted, I think they said it drinks for 4 people, so it's not like a one drink 5,000, but
Dinks.
I'm not spending $1,100 on a drink. Next.
Yeah,
I'm not spending $50 on a drink.
I know, right?
Listen, one of the big ones, like one of those tiki drinks, is one thing.
I was gonna say I bought the Nautilus, so I can't.
No, the Nautilus is fine. I'm just talking, but that's a tiki drink or something. I'm saying just I'm casually not going to be like, well, let's go. Brian, honestly, who's buying it? Dinks. And then you're going to have people who just have that disposable. To them, you have people that 5,000. That's like $5 to me, no problem.
Yeah. And what's crazy is you don't even keep the cylinder that it comes in, which I'm like, really, for $5,000, I better take that as a souvenir. No, that's property of the Disney Wish. You can't take that.
I've seen the reporting of this drink. I do not know what is in it, but I am going to take a guess. And I am going to guess it involves Louis the 15th or whatever it is.
I would assume so as well.
That super expensive cognac. $1 Disney drink. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the kind of Disney show we are. We are Googling the answer for you now. And poor Bruce.
I know we are so professional here.
We are absolutely professional.
We should have the material up and running. Let's see here.
The Kyber Crystal.
Right.
Hold on. 5,000 is an understatement. There's a mandatory 18% gratuity on it as well. It's an extra $900.
That just with not wow.
That's everything on the cruise. Everything you buy puts in an automatic gratuity.
Right. So it's really 6,000 then.
Yeah. Comes with 4 drinks and 4 cups. You don't get to take it home. Yeah, we got that. Okay. There's a lot of stuff in it. None of which I can pronounce. It all sounds very expensive. It's Camus Cognac, Ouzo, Kumquat, and Grand Marnier Quintessence.
I got Grand Marnier and what was the other one? Cognac?
Yeah.
Kumquat.
And then, so apparently the drinks around it, because there are 3 shots served individually in the other little cups.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got Watenshi Gin, which sounds Japanese and expensive.
Yeah.
I'm back. I apologize.
No worries. Taylor Fladgate Very Old Tawny Port, Kingsman Edition.
Ooh, Kingsman.
Hey, I've had the Statesman Bourbon. That's good stuff. And then here's how I know you actually approach the price it's worth. One of the shots. Pappy Van Winkle, Family Reserve, 23 year.
Oh, shit. Okay. That's...
So,
yeah.
It's got a bunch of shit I can't pronounce, and it looks expensive, but you also get a bottle of wine from the Skywalker Ranch and a voucher for 4 to visit the Skywalker Ranch.
That's, I think, a selling point right there.
It has to be. That's why you have people. When, again, who's buying this, Brian? Say people who do the Star Cruise without thinking about it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Skywalker Ranch, we're now approaching. I understand this. It also includes a special escort off of the cruise ship. It's an experience, but I still ain't dropping $6,000 on a drink.
Hell no.
On top of already spending about the same on your cruise, you're just doubling down for one night of partying with drinks.
I would like to point out that drink is more than the 4-night cruise we are taking.
This is true. This is true. Yes.
For 3 people.
Yeah.
Also, Bruce, I don't know if you heard, so it's a $5,000 drink. But like all drinks on the Disney cruise ships, there is an automatic 18% gratuity added.
Did not hear, but that doesn't surprise me at all. That should be exempt from that, though. I'm sorry. I understand why they include this so people don't get stiffed, but it's like, I just spent $5,000 on a drink. You should be kissing my boot.
Yeah. And I am sorry. I don't know what the staff has to do for this drink. I really don't.
Right.
Does it involve a $900 tip?
It better. It better for a $900 tip. I want the fireworks going off. I want showmanship. I want character integrity.
Does it show on there it's 100% has to have that included? I wonder if they don't waive that.
The Becky Menken was the one reporting on it.
Okay.
From a rival travel agency, so
we're all doing the same. I mean, we're all doing the Lord's work. I don't look at them as rivals.
Good Lord works in mysterious ways.
They're just the ones who got to Mangello first.
That's true. That's true. That's why I'm going after Tim Tracker.
I think it's the better get. People can at least finish his shit. Did you hear? Mangello put out an hour video. It's his first TikTok ever.
It's not funny, but it is.
And it's on food.
Oh, of course.
It's him an hour long just reviewing the food that he just had on the TikTok. There's no picture of the food. It's just him talking about the food that he ate.
Yep.
That is oddly accurate. Also, in some Disney news, Tron began testing with people this last week.
Yeah, I saw that.
Mhm.
And Jim Hill is more in belief than ever that we are dead set for a December 1st opening.
If they're testing with people now, yeah, they're December 1st. It has to be.
So that's big. I wish it was a little sooner. I'm biased, though.
I wish a little sooner too, but
Yes, I have realistic shot.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
I was just gonna say, I mean, look, Guardians and Rise.
I'm not complaining here. Rise, Guardians, I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. Splat, my Magic, my only reason to visit Magic is I want to ride Splash again and Country Bears. Hedging my bets on that one.
It won't be your last time riding Country
maybe
Bears.
Tiki Room just in case.
That I'm legitimately afraid of.
Yeah. From what
rumors
I've heard about Tiki Room, I know.
But it's also not the greatest loss. But it's not a great loss, but it's also you're not gaining a lot of space to work with.
That's why I think you're going to lose both.
Yeah. I mean, they did it once with under new management, and look what happened there.
Well, the spaces connect more than we think.
Mm-hmm. They did all that area. I think you're going to lose. They're going to revamp. If I'm a betting man, revamp Pecos. You're going to lose Country Bears. Redo Aloha Isle. That whole thing. You're going to have that whole thing closed. Tortuga out.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to reuse that space, that's a decent chunk of space there if you think about it.
True.
They can do something with that. It all depends. There's a lot of rumors going around about the back, Tom Sawyer Island and the back area where the bell goes. Could they be doing something back there?
See, I would rather see them do that back there, because if you take out Pecos Bill, that's like
you're not taking out no. You must understand. Your Pecos will stay. You're gonna just redo a restaurant where Pecos is.
Oh.
Are you following the drift?
Yeah.
Frontierland will be moving.
Altogether.
Again, to me, this rumor has a huge grain of salt. And so, are you just gonna build a new entrance to Big Thunder? What are you doing? Like, are you just gonna how you want to handle that? But I digress. That's just a rumor for now. I also don't take too much stock in this rumor. So what? Are you going to pull the train down again?
Yes. Yeah. It's like, hey, folks, guess what? We'll open the train up for a solid 3 months. And oh, by the way, we're taking
this is a blue sky idea. This is far from actuality. In fact, before they closed anything, I bet you would have land clearing going on in the back.
Oh, sure.
The big question: will we ever just make Tom Sawyer Island better again?
If they do what they did out in Disneyland, California, yeah, they should. It's Pirates Cove, I think it's what they call it now. I think it's called Pirates Cove. It ties into Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, it's the treasure hunt, and they have like skeleton pirates from the movie and all this stuff.
But they can do that there. You can't do that here.
Why can't you do that there?
Pirates is really far off. Pirates in the middle of the West.
Oh, I see what you mean. Because it is right across the river from New Orleans.
There are things you could do. You can do things here, but not like that's again. There's things you can do. A lot of it is, in order to really work on Tom Sawyer Island, you gotta really dredge that.
Yeah. I'm still surprised.
Nobody wants that smell.
I'm just surprised to this day that the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse is still standing.
What do you put there? What does it cost to operate?
I mean, it is shade. I will give them that.
It's not actually taking up the space it's taking up. And now is a question. If you take it down, how far back can you go without upsetting Jungle Cruise?
Can you really upset Jungle Cruise if you take it down?
Yes, you have to have equipment in construction. How far back do you go before you upset Jungle Cruise?
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Hot hands.
Yeah.
No, but that's what I mean. There's a certain amount of what can you do? Because there were rumors of just getting rid of that and putting some Moana volcano in there. So there's more room than I believe. I just more mean construction-wise. There's a lot of questions that come in.
Construction isn't always the easiest when you want to preserve the illusion.
Right. That's true.
That it just how much I don't think you'd have to take Jungle down, but can you only work at night because otherwise people hear the construction from Jungle is more I'm getting at.
That's when you just got to get some creative tour guides. And there's my new favorite bird, the jackhammer.
Or I don't know, louder speakers.
Yeah.
Let's not push our luck. It's Chapek.
I'm just saying, there's things I agree with you, but Dozer's right. It's Chapek. It costs nothing to leave it there. Disneyland's is going through some refurbishment or something.
They made it Tarzan, and now they're doing something else with it.
Well, no, I think they're going back to Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse in California.
Here, my problem with Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse is who?
You want to know all my interactions with the Swiss Family Robinson? The Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, the movie's on Disney Plus, and I've been meaning to watch it, and my wife is like, woo, because it's her ancestors, because her maiden name's Robinson. So they used to watch it as a kid growing up, saying that this is our ancestors and how. Yeah,
you know, that's great. That's great for Mrs. Robinson over there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to. It was there. I had no choice. You opened.
We can't leave that man an opening.
I know. I know.
I'm sorry. Couldn't help myself there. Yeah, I have gone through it when I was a kid, but it's been so long.
Mm-hmm.
So long. In fact, I'm like, oh, yeah. I walk by and go, how you doing?
Well,
it still exists. Good for you.
If I remember, this was like pre-pandemic, and we're talking like I think the same year that Guillermo del Toro said, hey, guess what? I'm doing a Haunted Mansion movie. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Disney announced something about
You're not wrong.
Was Steve Carell?
No, I don't remember if it was Carell, was it? But they announced they announced a potential project, and then it was one of those. It was at that time they first announced Jungle Cruise too. Well, then then it just kind of,
it just like faded away. Like they were doing this whole like, we're going to be releasing all these attraction movies, like making
they've been wanting to do this for so long, but
like a Magic Kingdom universe. Like they're trying to do like a
Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion still hung over the head, and they were like, guys, Swiss Family Robinson.
Was that a pun intended? Was that pun intended? There's always my way.
A little of intention there. Not fully, but a little bit.
Yeah, just a tad. Just a tad. Speaking of Haunted Mansion, have you guys heard the latest on this upcoming production?
Oh God, what now?
Well, I'm not sure how to. Well, no, we know about Jamie Lee Curtis as Madame Leota.
Yeah, but every time they announce something, I feel like for everything they announce, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, why?
I know. It's just all I can say is D23 Expo is coming up, and I'm sure they're just going to just be rolling all of this shit out.
And then they're going to forget about half of it and never build it.
Pretty much. We're going to drop all this news, and half of it is going to stick, and the other half is going to be like, hey, remember back when?
In one way, I hate to say this, but Disney's become like modern gaming. We're going to announce things that one, we have no timeline on. Two, we're going to try to rush it. It's going to be bad. Three, don't worry, it's getting canceled anyway. We're
I
just not
know.
telling you that.
At least Warner Brothers has the balls by saying, "Hey, we're dropping this, 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 and this."
As they're in the can.
That's true. I mean, it's more of a dick move on Warner Brothers.
I
to
mean,
do
I'm
that,
sorry. Having a graveyard viewing for Batgirl is just insulting.
I know. It's like, really?
Insulting. We're gonna let the cast and crew watch what they did once, and then never again.
I know.
Well, that's rude.
If I was part of the cast and crew with that production, I would make sure I would somehow get a copy of that.
Well, here's the worst part. Imagine if, I'm not even going to say you're an actor in it, but you are just a tech.
Yeah.
And that's your first real credit, your first real resume builder.
Yep.
What does that say? I had one production and they never made it. Like,
I think if you tell people if you told the right executive, I worked on Batgirl, but unfortunately, I think you'll have some sympathy of, I feel bad, let's give you a shot. But listen, I can't be very wrong. Hollywood's Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's I forget who was saying it, but it's like you have all these people that work behind the scenes that their only claim to fame could be one show. And now imagine if that one show's the Cosby Show.
Right.
Exactly.
You can't talk about it, or Multimadio, or just shows you can't.
I mean, you have the one comedian who's his cameo is cut from Ant-Man and Wasp.
Oh,
his
yeah.
Cameo on air. He was told his cameo is cut from Quantumania. On air. And the director's even like, I realize I see your face. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done this. We're gonna talk. I think there's still potential for you to be in the MCU. We're gonna talk, but I can't talk on camera about that. I'm so sorry. He's just like, you can tell it's all audio, but apparently the guy was just like, huh?
Right.
I see I made a mistake here. I shouldn't have done that.
What the I did see that headline. I'm like, what the? How can you just be cut?
Happens all the time.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes they're what I call, quote unquote, important cameos. A Bruce Campbell cameo in a Sam Raimi movie.
Oh my God, I know. If Bruce Campbell
when they were threatening to cut him, I'm like, you physically can't do that. The man actually has a fan base here.
Yeah.
Who will actually see the movie just for 5 seconds of him.
Yeah.
I don't care how bad Doctor Strange is. I want my Bruce Campbell.
I need my pizza, Papa.
Pretty much.
Hey, Pizza Pop always gets paid. Oh, Bruce Campbell, we love you.
Look, Bruce Campbell was proving the multiverse before Marvel even had a fart of the multiverse.
I always thought Bruce Campbell would be an awesome Mysterio. To the point where, like, being kind of like the illusionist and hopping between like universe. Like, I thought his character in the Spider-Man films was Mysterio. Because he always was like popping up with Peter Parker.
You know, I'm not against it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against it, but since I like seeing Bruce Campbell's face and, well, fishbowl head, I'm a big fan of, he stays in the fishbowl. Dr. Doom stays behind the mask. Mysterio stays in the fishbowl. I'm sorry, Jake Gyllenhaal. You did whatever they did with you, they did with you. I just happen to like Mysterio with the fishbowl on. Crystal ball, whatever you want to call his helmet.
I would have liked to have seen it in either multiverse, or there are plenty of opportunities they could put this gag in, where you have an old variant of a character. And I'm going to single out Captain America. Old, retired, and that's Bruce Campbell's cameo. Oh, just imagine Sam Axe sitting on the beach, but it's Captain America, and he'd be sitting there sunning himself with the shield.
Oh,
come on! Either Captain, like I said, an alternate Doctor Strange, Nick Fury.
Oh,
you just see him still sunning himself with the shield because Bruce Campbell as Fury. I could see.
But you know what though? If they do a Nick Fury variant, they
has
have
to be
to.
Hasselhoff.
It has to be. It has to be the Hasselhoff. It has to be.
I read about. I see where you're going. I agree.
I'm like, look, if they do a Nick Fury variant, it's got to be the Hass. I mean, he was already in Guardian. They already referenced him in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's got to be a Nick Fury cameo.
So, retired Nick Fury on the beach with a purple fruity drink. Why have a purple drink? I wanted to see myself in the wide shots.
Yep. Anyway, listen, that's the one thing with Bruce Campbell. You could put him anywhere. You could do anything. Like, honestly, if they came out, oh, he was Mysterio all along, and be like, love it. Love
See?
it.
Like, yeah, like a big twist where he's like the mastermind, or like, oh God, what other?
Well,
what
they need to take the moment, the 30 seconds it'll take to just go retcon Bruce Campbell as the proof of the multiverse early on.
Oh, I got it. Bruce Campbell. All right. You know how there's the Spider-Verse on Netflix? What if Bruce Campbell is like OG Peter Parker?
Well, technically, he did give Spider-Man his name.
What was it?
Spider-Man.
No. In the very first movie, Human Spider, he calls him Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. That's right, because he was the
Bruce
wrestling.
Campbell says that in interviews. If it weren't for me, he'd still be called the Human Spider.
I forgot he was the announcer in the wrestling match. I just kept coming up with the
I won't
usher.
ever forget that because it's Bruce Campbell and Macho Man.
That's true. It is Macho Man.
Yeah.
We'll never be able to forget. I will never be able to forget this scene as long as I live. Tobey Maguire, you are truly among kings.
Yeah. But you're right. He did call him the Spider-Man. So that's why I was like, wouldn't that be awesome if he's like another like alternate universe Peter Parker?
Put him in a fat suit. He's Kingpin all along.
Oh, I
Too
like
old for
that.
this shit, kid.
Or he's actually Peter's father.
Could be.
So, I'm just going to have some fun here. Somebody comes up to him in a movie, goes, "What's your name?" "My name is Bruce." Walks off. All of a sudden, someone picks up a hanky or something. Bruce, you forgot this. And all you see is a W on it. Just enough to give that hint, that nudge, but not break copyright.
I like it. I'm here for it. I like it. I can get behind that.
Just having some fun.
I like it. I can get behind that. I'm here for it. I mean, listen, like I said, I'm here for all Bruce Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
But if there's any movie he needs to be in, there's absolutely one movie, and it ain't even a movie he needs to be in. It's a TV show. He needs to be in She-Hulk.
Oh, God, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet because I'm waiting. I know I'm going to devour She-Hulk like fast, so I'm waiting.
My only tip. I mean, we're only 2 episodes in, so I can't say too much about this show.
That's why I want to wait till we're at least 4 episodes in.
But like the first episode, I'm like, okay, I get where they're going with this story. But watching the second episode, that should have just been the first episode. Like the first episode was just an origin of how she got her powers. And frankly, I don't care because the second episode pretty much just sets up where this series is going to go. And I'm like, that's the show.
But
well, we have.
Didn't they drop at the same time?
No.
Oh.
No. Now, if the 2 episodes did drop at the same time, then yeah, I would be like, okay, great, introduction to the character. But like the way how they just dragged out the entire episode of a backstory, I'm like, that was too long. Give me if it's a 30-minute episode, give me 15 minutes of a backstory.
Wait until they're done. There might be purpose in there.
I don't know because in episode, I don't want to spoil anything because I want you to see it. But like episode 2, they dropped a lot of stuff.
Yeah, still wait. They've been putting a lot of thought into these shows. give it some thought. Or they thought there was a chance they might have thought audiences just weren't going to resonate with her.
I mean, I don't think this is spoiling it, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get a World War Hulk. Like, whether it's a movie or a TV series, we're getting World War Hulk.
I'm okay with this.
Like,
We already got Planet Hulk.
Like, but with Mark Ruffalo. Like, we're getting like a World War Hulk movie or TV series.
No complaints. I am totally here for it.
And we're also, I mean, we're getting the Thunderbolts. They already announced that, but like episode 2 pretty much set up Thunderbolts.
I just enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
The only thing I didn't expect, and this is in no way a spoiler, it's a story, it's a plot telling, it's a storytelling spoiler, but nothing in the actual story. I did not expect there to be this much fourth wall breaking.
Yeah. I knew there was some like Deadpool, but there was a lot of fourth wall breaking.
No, I'm not surprised at all.
Was that a comic thing for her? Because I've
A
never
little
read
bit,
it.
a little bit. She was a lot more of a light. Hulk comics are very serious. She-Hulk comics were a much
Lighter,
reserved, lighter, fun.
Yeah, and that's what the show is. The show
Yeah.
is great.
Like
It's
Mark
fun.
Ruffalo's take on the Hulk has always been on more the lighter side. Obviously, Infinity, where we got to the heavier stuff, but you don't have any of that Edward Norton, Hulk traveling alone, sad because he can't be anywhere.
This reminds me of like Boston Legal. Remember that show, Boston Legal?
I love Boston Legal.
This has like a Boston Legal meets Sex in the City Marvel show.
You do know on a regular basis. I point to people and go, "My name's on the door." Whose name's on the door? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
No, I'm very excited. I'm still crossing fingers for Kristen Ritter. Still crossing fingers for Kristen Ritter. Appearance.
Oh, Jessica Jones. Look, if they gave us Daredevil in the promo, we're gonna get.
No. I meant in She-Hulk though. An attorney would absolutely use a private eye. I'm not saying it's happening now, but I have my hopes pretty high that it will.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah, look, if Daredevil's in the promo, we're definitely going to get Jessica Jones in this some shape or form.
That's why this is my hopeful introduction to her in the MCU is here. But I digress. It's just I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to. I am so excited for this show. Like Moon Knight, I waited and I was happy I did. At episode 4, I will be jumping in.
The way I put it is, Meg and I have tried to watch a lot of these Marvel shows together. This is the second one really, that she truly enjoyed. The first one, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Great show. I loved it.
But that's also because she gets a lady boner for Sebastian Stan.
I get that. I get it. I get where she's coming from.
So that helped. But even that got a little bizarre, and this might turn bizarre.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say might turn green.
This She-Hulk sometimes can skew to the bizarre.
Yeah.
But we're getting to the point, bizarre is kind of the only direction to go.
Yeah, and I do have one question. Have any of us seen Thor, Love and Thunder?
I have not. I know it's going to be on Disney Plus here soon. That's why I'm like...
Same here.
That's what I'm waiting for. I was just curious if the one scene from episode 2 tied into that, but we can't answer it. So.
I was possibly going to see it today, but I saw Nope instead.
Wait, which scene? I'm trying to remember now which scene. There's
the phone call, third act.
Oh no, I don't think that's tied into Thor. I think that's tied into World War Hulk. That's what I'm talking about.
It very well could be, yes. But that's what I thought, or I thought it could be tied into something that's already happened as an allusion to.
Like Thor Ragnarok?
Not Ragnarok. This is after Ragnarok.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Besides,
all in time.
I was literally a different person at that point.
That's the part that I was like, okay, so they even threw in the Edward Norton reference movie too, which I was like, now, again, not really a spoiler, but I did question a scene. Was that the same bar that Thunderbolt Ross was drinking in when Tony walked in?
No.
That's not the same bar. I swear it looked like the same bar. Okay. I thought I was like,
oh, Teddy, how are we going to handle you?
A bar that is basically all clad in wood. I've never seen a bar like this before. No.
I just thought it'd be really cool if they threw it back to that scene from Hulk.
No, that bar from Hulk was flat, like it was a bar, whereas this is a U-shaped bar.
You're right. Yeah.
Oh, Teddy, how I miss you.
I
hope
can
they
remember
recast
this.
him.
They will.
Who, William Hurt?
Oh, Teddy.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Sam Elliott, just bring him back.
I'm fine with Sam Elliott, but can we at least recast Liv Tyler and bring Betty in?
Yeah, Jennifer Connelly. Bring everybody back from the first Hulk movie without Eric Bana. Just
anybody.
Even Nick
we
Nolte.
have erased. We have erased Betty from all of everything. Can we at least get Betty back?
No.
Betty and Jen can be friends.
Shit. Bring back him. Since we're showing the Banner family in some of these things, have him be a long-lost cousin, Eric Banner.
Ah, that's good. I like that.
So we have that. That was good. Bruce, you were saying something about the portal, orange, blue, something dropping.
Oh, we have portals. We have ladies and gentlemen. Days away. If you're looking to go to Halloween Horror Nights, better buy a ticket for this week. Better buy it soon. First day, sold out. Third day, sold out. Unless you got one of them fancy passes, you ain't getting in.
Yeah,
but
Mickey's
the portals
is the same way.
Up. Is it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, Mickey's been going for a while though.
Well, and they posted today too that it's the first Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween that is sold out. And I have a few travel agents that are down there right now. They said it. What was the what? Ridiculously packed to the point.
It's also a holiday weekend.
Like they are. So one of the people were like, just go ride the rides. Like everyone is just, you can just see a herd on Main Street. Everyone just crowding. Like they said, it's like summer crowd. Well, I guess it would. I think it's
probably because a lot of people the last week, or they took the week off from school to go back because it's a holiday weekend coming.
Yeah, yeah. Labor Day week. But yeah, go. Yeah, you were saying with portal.
The portals are up. All the scenery is up. The snack stands are ready. Everything's locked and loaded for Bear. We have our official map, so we know all the locations.
Can we post that up on the video?
If someone sends me a screenshot via Facebook.
On it, Dozer. Give me 1 sec.
It'll take me a minute, but I can get it up.
Let's try to make this official.
I screenshotted it. But I can tell you where the houses and the scare zones are. Everything's where we thought it was. All the rumors were true. Some of this we knew. The only kind of question is where you were entering for Horrors of Blumhouse, and Bug, the Bug Eaten Alive, enters not where normally by Men in Black. You have the two houses next to each other. This is actually where you kind of exited or entered for the Men in Black tent. So for Bug, you have to go around the entire. They built a trestle there, which I thought that was odd. They were building a trestle there. You have to go around the entire Men in Black show building, which makes me believe there's no switchback. There may be one, but you're going around the building and right into the house.
Oh. So I think that is convenient, though, for Bugs Eaten Alive with Men in Black. That is kind of fitting. So
it is, I think, but Bugs Eaten Alive is sprung too. I think they're doing that because you were having a problem of back-to-back out in the same area, right in the other one. This one, you're coming out, but you're going to have people coming in Bug, coming out, and then going right into Descendants of Destruction. But when you come in, this is the first year long. You have 5 houses right in the gauntlet here. Spirits of the Coven first, Hellblock Horror, Spirits of the Coven. The last thing that was there would have been, I believe, Cabin in the Woods was the last one, or American Horror Story would have been the last one that early. Then you have Hellblock Horror, the traditional Music Plaza entrance, Halloween, Jimmy Fallon, Fiesta, and Dead Man's Pier. Screw you, tentacles. There will be tentacles involved in Dead Man's Pier, thanks to merchandise that showed us that. Fiesta, I'm excited for all. The more I read about these, the more I'm excited I'm getting a lot of for these originals. Even Hellblock Horror sounds like it'll be decent. Then you have at I almost call it the Disaster, Fast and Furious. You have Horrors of Blumhouse, which you enter on the far side, and I think you're exiting right into the scare zone, which should have been a scare zone there. That's actually not there. There it is, a small. I think you're exiting that scare zone there. Continuing along, then you have Bug, Descends to Destruction, and then the awful, awful, awful corner for the weekend in Universal Monsters.
Yeah, they just threw that in the back corner.
The Kid Zone corners has to be that way because there's really unless you have them exit up and come out where Descent into Destruction and Bug come, there is no better way to do this where they are with the 2 parade buildings. You have to have them exiting back into the Kid Zone.
All right, now I think we had this conversation before, but looking at the Monster Legends in that little corner, I mean, that's the Kid Zone, but where is...
Both of them are the parade buildings.
All right, so I'm nowhere near Horror Makeup Show right now.
Horror Makeup Show is back at the end. No, you have to go through the Scarecrow. That's the one thing. The Scarecrow Scare Zone. It's just Central Park. Central Park is you have to walk through Central Park. Horror Makeup's all the way back by Mel's.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, Horror Makeup's nowhere near there. This is just Kid Zone. You go through the old Barney area. You cut across. Down, then you have the switchbacks into the new parade building. The other one, you cut down by Curious George. It's one continuous line. Then you cut down in front on the road and into the old parade building. Both exit at the same area, and then you have to walk back the entire line, back past ET, back into Kid Zone. That's the only way to do it, unfortunately. That's why those 2 lines kind of go hand in hand. The way they have it, you're going to have 2 an uneven distribution. This is how it's been for the last few years, where you have Bug and Descendant. If they're going to have no line or a long line. Same thing for Monsters. But merchandise is that some of the merch is online, but there's a lot more coming, and they have some good stuff this year.
And I tell you what, I just saw. I was just scrolling through YouTube, and I guess they're already. I mean, it's 2 weeks away for the first, Halloween Horror Night event.
No, it's not. It's 2 days.
2 days.
It's this week. September 2nd.
Oh my God.
We're days. We're not weeks. We're days. It's 2 weeks till I go.
That's true. But no, the facades for the scare zones look really good. But then there was, oh my God, which house were they promoting?
You can see a couple of the facades. The ones we saw pictures of are Bug, Descendants, the ones you can see, which I say that I'm saying this, well, that's a joke. You can only see 4. The rest are in sound stages or in queues. Right. You can see the Bug, which is there's a hallway. The Bug looks like it's an air conditioner that kind of cools your house, purifies, disinfects, kills bugs. It definitely got the Slaughter Cinema kind of vibe going, HR Bloodguts kind of vibe. You could see the entrance to the old train station, the old subway station, which is the entrance to Descendants, and then you don't see the entrances, you just see the wrap on the outside for the weekend. And somebody was putting up screenshots from what the one of the executives said. She was giving some insight, like most of Fiesta de Chupacabra is going to be in Spanish. The That's locals awesome. All speak in Spanish. Some of they said there's a whole thing of how they're doing that, which is going to be pretty good. They're encouraging not to sleep on the weekend, that it's going to be more intense than you think. Bug is the joke house.
Really?
Bug is the joke house.
Okay, I guess because it's bugs. But if you have a fear of insects, though, I mean,
Bug is the joke. It's the overall tone of it. And if you see the queue, it makes sense.
Okay.
The joke house usually has a juxtaposition. You're at a horror event, but you have this cute little bug standing on the outside, and everything. So that's why they have had more. I say that you have had more joke houses in recent years, but that's what we got going on. Certain merchandise is flying off the shelves. A lot of it's now on the website, but they still have a lot coming. There is a Pumpkin Lord T-shirt I have my eye on.
That's the one it was.
Yeah, the Pumpkin Lord. I'm like, yes, Bruce needs you. He will take his money and give him the T-shirt, please.
That's the one. That's the one that I saw. The tie-dye one. It says scares at every like.
No. Different. Hold on. Different shirt. I have that. I have that shirt you're talking about sitting over here. That's the hoodie. That's the tie-dye. The other one's just in black. If you give me one moment.
Is it on the website?
No, this one is not on the website yet because, like I said, it's not there yet. It's a little hard to see, but it's that. All hail the Pumpkin Lord.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm like, that shirt needs to be mine. And also, this is something just Dozer's gonna be like, yep, that's Bruce's. Yep, I'm buying that.
Oh my God, yes.
Yep, that's for me. There's a lot of merch this year. There's a ton of Halloween stuff. Mini backpack, shirt, sweatshirt, candle, bracelet, keychain, there's a lot of Halloween stuff. The house shirt does not have the weekend on it.
I wonder if that might be a copyright thing.
I think it's not a copyright per se. They get to say
like a licensing agreement, like something, because it's his property, it's his label, it's not Universal's.
He can decide if he wants to. Listen, a lot of them come on, they go allow their stuff to be on it. Most properties do. We've seen this in recent years where they kind of tone back on it. I'm tepidly excited for the weekend. I have that location's been pretty good to me, so I'm tepidly excited. I'm not the Hellblock Horrors, the bottom of I have a list made of my expectations going in. Hellblock Horror is dead last.
Okay.
Only the weekend's the only other one that's on the bottom.
I have a feeling this weekend one though might actually be something interesting.
That's why I'm tepid. I'm here. They say this is an intense house. This is not this was not built to be a joke.
Right.
Which I think is secretly a shot of the bow at Billie Eilish.
Oof.
Because she pulled out because last year she said, hey, after COVID, I'm rebranding myself. I don't want to be the demon anymore. The house doesn't exist.
Right.
So when they say that we're building this to be intense, I think that's a shot at the bow at her personally, but I could be wrong. We'll find out.
I know I've been listening to the album recently to kind of like get vibes of how the house would look.
I've never listened to it and I need to.
It's actually a really good album.
I'm going to have to.
And then listen to After Hours, because that's the album.
Well, that's what it's based off of. After Hours Nightmare, yeah.
Listen to that, and then I think there was a song. Is there a song called Nightmare on the album? I can't remember. But there's a sequel album where he's older, that he's dying on his deathbed, and he dies and goes off to heaven. But Jim Carrey is the narrator on the album as this like radio DJ. It's really interesting. Yeah. If you like top 40,
he's not my typical performer, but obviously just because I have to, I'm going to. That's another thing. We know the Unmasking the Horror houses. No one is going through the weekend.
Really?
Shocking.
No tour is going through the weekend. There's always one. Probably because you're not allowed to take pictures in half the rooms.
Yeah.
Or there's like last year it was you can say his name 3 times, but that's as far as we're allowed to talk about Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
The 6 house tour, it's Legends, Universal Monsters, Horrors of Blumhouse, Bugs Eaten Alive, Descendants of Destruction, Dead Man's Pier, Hellblock Horror. The 3 house tour will do Halloween, Fiesta, and Spirits of Coven.
Well, I will be partaking at some point, maybe in October. I'm going to be checking out the Hershey Park Dark Nights.
I'm interested, but that's a commitment for me to something that I feel is just thrown together.
I know. I will go for one night to see what this is. This is their first year doing it, so I'm not expecting.
None. I bet
I-
you'll be surprised.
I'm going in with an open mind.
Don't expect much, and you'll probably be satisfied
Yeah.
because they're doing the more Six Flags style. Which, side note, by the way, it is cheaper for a night of Horror Nights than to go to Six Flags, Great Adventure, do Fright Fest.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Horror Nights.
I saw the
What?
pricing.
Six Flags, what the hell? You have to pay because Six Flags, like Hershey, some parks do this. It's not a hard ticket event. You buy your ticket to go in so you can enjoy the park all day to do the Halloween stuff. There's enough charge.
Right.
Pushes it over $100 a night.
See, I liked how Dorney Park used to do it. Yeah, you could buy the Hollow Weekend ticket or horror.
Hollow
Or you
Weekends.
could, well, no, it was also Haunt.
Haunt.
Yeah.
Or if you went earlier, it was like $10 more. You bought a day ticket.
Yeah.
And then you still got Haunt.
Right.
All of Cedar Fair does that. Six Flags, they're stupid. And Hershey, I understand only because it's 4 houses. They're not expecting much. And frankly, if it's a hit, they do better next year. If it's, if
4 houses and I think 4 scare zones too. Scare zones.
I think they should just need to call them like horror walks I think they just need to call them spooky areas. Scare zones are never that scary. Yeah. They're just fun. We're just going to call them fun areas because that's what they are to walk through. They're fun.
Speaking of haunted houses, this is some local PA news. The old Bishop McDevitt High School in downtown Harrisburg, the old Catholic school, will be a haunted house this year.
Genius. Love it. Love it. I love when people are like, we have this creepy old building. What can we do with it? And someone's like, let's build a haunted house. And they're like, yes.
Evil nuns for 1,000, Alex.
Actually, yes, that is the promo. That is the promo picture. Is the nun from the Conjuring, the nun, and it just said like, yeah, the old former Bishop McDevitt Catholic school. Now the downside is it's in a rough part of town. It's near Allison Hill. If you guys are familiar with the Harrisburg area, it's
I'm not, but really, the nun. That's the image we went with. We couldn't create our own.
Well, no, they are creating their own, but for promos.
I still saying, yeah, that gives. Did you guys see the nun?
I did.
That's why I'm making that face. I'm like, ooh, the nun.
I've seen all.
Distance yourself. Distance yourself.
Well, I'm sure they're gonna do all this. Like, I'm sure they're gonna do like demonic possessions and.
Oh, I'm sure they're gonna. Yeah. I'm sure it's gonna be. I actually think it's gonna be fantastic. I'm just saying, from a marketing standpoint, you're gonna get people who are gonna go, "Oh, I didn't like that."
So I might make a trip over the river to see if this is.
Should that sounds fantastic?
Well, and what's funny is that like my mom went there, like that's where she went to school, and she joked about how like it was haunted when she was there. Like she's like, oh yeah, the school is haunted. Like, yeah.
It's actually your duty to go and do it. Support your local haunts, people.
Yeah.
Support your local haunts. If I had a nice local one, I do. That's also in a rough part of town. It's in Passaic, so
yeah. See, it's like the Allison Hill's sort of like the ghetto of Harrisburg.
Yeah, they build them there because it's easy.
I know.
There is an old water treatment plant in New Milford that I don't know what it looks like on the inside, but I'm like, from the outside at night, please just turn this into somebody buy this and turn it into a haunted house. It's got to be creepy as hell in there on its own at night.
I've never been to Eastern State Penitentiary. Like,
it's mediocre.
Okay.
Overhyped. They do their own. They don't do a full-on conga line, but they do their own version of it. They send you in groups, but they can't truly do alone. The one time I did it, we're in college. I was with all girls. They split you up, guys and girls. So I was walking by myself, but nothing happened. That was I was like, "Ooh, it's gonna get me here." Didn't happen. The last time I was there, this guy with the chainsaw had me dead to rights. He had me. He's standing over my shoulder behind a gate. He's got me, and he knows it. My friend Laura turns around, goes to say something. The way she pauses, I just looked right at him.
That's
He
awesome.
hit the chainsaw, but you could see disappointment in his eyes of like, I had you. He did. I would have jumped and screamed. He had me. I had no idea he was there. He had me dead to rights. But yeah, honestly, Eastern State, great atmosphere though.
Yeah.
It's not that scary on the inside. So if you get to go, it's worth doing.
I just want to go for the
Yeah,
history, like outside of the haunt, just like going to do the prison tour alone. Like I'd love to do that.
If you do go, you do have to sign a waiver,
Mhm.
but it's more or less so if this building falls on top of you, you're not held liable.
Yeah, like
To which case I looked at her and said, "Excuse me? That's scarier than the haunt."
yeah.
Just in a bit of sad news, which is something I sadly didn't even know existed in my town till like last year. Legendary haunted house, Shocktober, not Shocktoberfest,
Okay.
just Shocktober in Leesburg, Virginia, had its final year last year.
Oh, that's sad.
At one point, this was voted the 5th scariest haunted house in the country.
Wow.
Oh, that sucks.
But the manner they held it at is they deemed no longer suitable.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, that's
so. And the real
Something
saddest thing is the money this brought in, which was serious money.
yeah.
It was a charity, not for profit, pure charity for some kids organization.
Oh,
So to try and replace it this year, and this is cracking me up. They haven't found a venue that can hold a haunted house again, but they are having a one-night Halloween party at an ice rink, starring They Might Be Giants.
That's a stretch.
I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna say it. An event that starts as a party and has a hook to bring you in could become a thing. Just throwing that out there, baby. Maybe thanks to Jaws, Fright Nights was a thing. Come party with your favorite monsters. Turn into 2 months of 10 haunted houses. So anything's possible. And They Might Be Giants. Hell yeah, that sounds awesome.
I'm just saying, I know exactly how this could be the most frightening thing in history. And they are advertising this as a PG-13 event.
Sure.
Here's how you scare it. Make it scary. Yeah, it's a 4-hour concert. All they play is the hot dog song.
I was going to say, is it just maybe you walk through and Particle Man's coming to get you?
Nope. Hot dog, hot diggity dog.
Are they the ones who wrote that?
Yes.
Of course they are.
I'm not positive wrote it, but they performed it.
Oh, no, they probably wrote it.
They did a really good cover of the Main Street Electrical Parade, too. I forget which album that was on, but I heard a really cool rendition of that from them.
They're a fantastic group, and they're very talented. So that's I'm like, that sounds awesome.
I don't know, just They Might Be Giants with Halloween. It doesn't sound right. It sounds like a really cool gig, but I don't know.
You have to have hook to bring them in. And if you don't have scares, if you're a legitimate, and I don't mean local, one of the best haunts, everything's going to tell you we're voted one of the best haunts. But if you're legitimate, one of the best in the country, and there are, like 13th Gate down in Baton Rouge. I mean, there are ones that are legit. Sometimes they don't last; they fluctuate. That's a big deal.
So, the list this one came from because it came from the Travel and Leisure list from 2018 is where they were voted the 5th scariest. And in 2018, the number 1 scariest was the Backwoods Maze in Burbank, California. So I don't know. I'm not a haunt guy. there's a million of these different ones. 13th Gate got 7th on their list.
Okay, that's a real list then. No, 13th Gate's the real deal. 13th Gate, I believe it's in Baton Rouge.
Yep.
13th Gate's the real deal. That's a good one. I always call it 13 Keys.
Let's see, from PA, you got Reaper's Revenge.
Where's that at?
Scranton. Not Scranton.
Scranton.
And there's also in Saylorsburg, the Hotel of Horror.
That sounds like
Really?
fun.
Really? Not Scare House?
Hey, I'm still scrolling through the list because I was scrolling just to find out where this one was.
Scare House used to be the premier of Pennsylvania. But that's unfortunately, that's on the Pittsburgh side. But Scare House was one of the premiers for a long time.
Yeah, I remember that actually.
They had to move. I do know they had to move, and that hurt things. They had to move into like a mini mall, and that really hurt things.
Wasn't Scare House the one that they like? Literally, I mean, that was one of those signing a waiver type thing, and they were like able to touch you and like black out and all this stuff. And
I'm just going to say,
I've done the whole touching thing. Frankly, it only works half the time.
So, just because the 25th one, the last one on their list of 25, is one that Bruce may have very well gone to. I don't know. And that is the Brighton Asylum.
Once or twice.
I saw the location.
That's the one I just mentioned, the Passaic.
Yep.
Yeah, Brighton Asylum. Here's the thing with Brighton. I went when they first started. Their ads were just signs they put on the ground. But they did Christmas, Valentine's Day, Easter, St. Patrick's Day. They did every holiday for 2 years.
Huh.
Including Halloween was the big one. But they did a house, and they did some fun shit. The Christmas one was real good. Real lower budget, but they did what they could with it, and it was demented. Real good shit. But yes, I'm familiar with Brighton Asylum. There's actually a train down in South Jersey I've always wanted to do.
A train?
Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be a haunted train. I don't know if it's any good, but you know me. I'm a sucker. I traveled out to Long Island to do the one, and that was rough. I was leaving, and I looked at one of the employees. Does anybody actually want to be here, or just me?
Oof.
The scare actors, everybody. I said, does anybody? And I looked at it, I said, no offense. It was like one of the managers said, no offense, I got to tell you. Does anybody else want to be here to actually have fun tonight? Just me? I said, this was terrible. I said, I drove from Jersey. This was god awful.
Ugh.
One of the worst haunts I've ever been to.
And
now, maybe it was just an off night or off year, but it was bad. Do not recommend.
Like, to a certain degree, I always expect a Cedar Fair haunt to be mediocre at best.
Mm-hmm.
Because they never invested real money in it.
-2.
What were the two?
Scary Farm, Knott's, and Scarowinds. Scarowinds supposed to be pretty good.
Hey. What are they not called?
Yeah. Well, they still owned by Cedar Fair now.
But I said haunt.
Fact. Good point.
I worked haunt before I went to haunt.
They do, but you're right. They do the best with what they can. I'm not saying they're fun. Haunt's fun to go to. It's a fun evening.
The only thing, my only critique of haunt, because before they have haunt, they have like Boo Fest or whatever for the kids.
Yeah.
And the park doesn't close between Boo Fest and haunt. And there's no like park-wide 15-minute warning. I'm just saying, if you have an event for kids that is flowing straight into your haunt event,
you should give some sort of.
I don't disagree.
opens with all the monsters and scare actors flooding the main entranceway, give the families a chance to leave. Like a warning before.
Like, I'll admit this. Dorney Park's haunt, it was my first foray into the 3D haunt. My first of many, and that was the place I left, and I'm like, why? Why did I just walk through that? What was the point of that? What were they trying to do?
Bruce, you've done Cedar Fair attractions. You know how wonderful their 3D technology is.
Mm-hmm. I'm aware.
It might be a step below red and blue glasses.
Well, they are red and blue glasses that you put on for the haunt.
Oh, God.
All of them. All of them. All of them are red and blue glasses.
Oh my God! It's like
every
you
single
get out of a
one
cereal box.
They are every single 3D haunt you will ever do are going for the most part are going to be red and blue glasses. But I got to tell you, it was that very first year at Horror Nights when I walked. I literally was getting my glasses. Eric's in front of me. I'm like, 3D haunts suck. He goes, "You've never been to a Horror Nights one." I'm like, "I'm telling you, they all suck." I left it, and this is my second Horror Nights house ever. Got me good in the very first room, and I was going nuts. I'm like, I judged 3D haunts is wrong my whole life. The spinning tunnel's everything. That spinning tunnel is everything. The spinning tunnel is not there, you're screwed. But the spinning tunnel sets you up the entire way. But yeah, it's the 3D haunt. They do it in the arcade with clowns. It just wasn't that good.
I have an answer of what needs to happen for a haunt now. So 3D haunts all use the red and blue glasses. The episode of Doctor Who that involves ghosts. What does Doctor Who wear to see the ghosts?
Red and blue glasses.
We have a Doctor Who haunt.
It's not a bad idea.
Good luck with that.
Oh, I know.
Good luck with that.
I just want non-traditional. I love things that aren't traditionally scary.
Snoopy says what?
A scary version. Yes.
I just mean like, yeah, like they'll pay for Doctor Who. I agree. That would be, listen, I'm all for non-traditional stuff. You guys know that especially when it comes to haunts, but we'll see.
You know, I've said it before. I'll say it again. A Halo flood themed haunt would be badass.
Oh my God. You're just creating Epic Universe's Halloween Horror Nights. We'll have a Doctor Who. We'll have a Halo.
Okay. I want one thing from Epic Universe's Haunted Haunt.
Boo House!
I want
yes!
Mansion. That's all I want is either a Boo or Luigi's Mansion house. Just give it to me. That's all I want. I want Boo puppets.
Even like an overlay on the Mario Kart ride. Give me an overlay of Luigi's Mansion course.
No, that's already in there, kind of.
Is it?
Yeah, Twisted. No, the one Twisted house, which is like a Boo Luigi's Mansion type house, does have a room.
So,
it's not specifically Luigi's Mansion, but it's it's from the new Mario Kart. It is part of the game. I just thought
it'd be really cool if they do like an overlay, like what they do with Hyperspace Mountain or like Ghost Galaxy.
If they just can't, that's the problem. There really is no way to do it.
Even if they change out like the video screens,
they're not video screens.
Well, the augmented reality, like
no. All the augmented reality does is put carts there. Even if they did, you're still going to be in the sky, underwater. That's the thing. It's not change the physical. That's why it goes so slow because it's all physical sets.
I see what
they
you
want
mean.
you to see the physical sets. That I'm with you. That it wouldn't work there.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to report that this is the first time in history you are hearing more or less bitching about physical sets.
I will never bitch about physical. It's the only complaint I have with the physical sets here is that was their thing but it looks so good. We don't want people to they want to appreciate that, but it's Mario Kart. They're not going to accept it.
That's Rise of the Resistance too.
We want them to appreciate it, riding it several times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is that it goes. If you look at videos, they're gorgeous. It looks like you jumped right out of the game into real life. They're gorgeous, but it's just not fast in this
Now-
Mario Kart.
Let me ask you guys this. There's been another rumor about Epic Universe lately. That's been
Which one?
virtual queues.
Oh, that's been around since day one.
That's been
Why
around.
not?
Okay.
Why
Like
not?
they're talking about the entire park to be virtual.
Mhm.
If it works, I think if you do the whole park virtual, it can work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work when you have one attraction doing
Right.
it.
Right.
It depends on how they're going to do it. I've heard that's been around for a long time, and I did a survey that was part of. I'm not supposed to talk about these, but I did a survey that was part of it. That's why I on the survey everything was about attractions and no shows. Dining attractions is all I care about. That's all anyone cares about. Is what I wrote in my comments. Like that's how you make the money. They're still not sure if it's going to be each thing individual
Right.
or if it's one park.
Like, oh, you like you buy a ticket for like you buy admission.
You can
for,
buy it. You can theoretically buy a ticket for any. Excuse me 1 second. This is running a little bit. You can buy a ticket for if you just want to do Mario.
Right.
Theoretically, you could just buy a ticket for Nintendo. The thought process also was you're going to have a main hub like a city walk, restaurants, shops, one roller coaster, and then okay, if you want to hear that's again, that's all up in the air until we know concrete what they're going to do.
And see, here's the problem. I like their theoretical idea of you can buy tickets to each individual land. Great. It really solves the problem. So first thing they did, that's pro little kid.
Or you do a ban, or you have I can get into all of them as much as you want.
Right.
But here's the Here's the big problem. They're going to put in all this infrastructure to do it. To do these individual lands. And 98% of the people are just going to buy the band to do everything, defeating the whole purpose, and then it's going to go away in 2 or 3 years.
It won't go away. It won't be. It's going to be like the single park tickets that are advertised at Universal at all. They sell them. They just don't advertise them heavily.
No, here's why I say it'll go away.
What's the point?
Because then you don't have to have staffing there at each land to let people in.
Well, yes, you still do.
Oh,
Again, you just still have it. That's the other rumor that's been around since day one. You don't have to have staffing with facial recognition technology.
Oh my God.
Not kidding.
Here's what I'm going to...
I agree with you. Trust me, whatever you're about to say, I agree with, but that's just the rumor that's been around since day one.
No, I'm saying this because this is what's going to happen, and it's going to piss me the fuck off. You have every Karen out there who bitches, screams to the high heavens that, why does Disney need to have my daughter's fingerprint? And Universal won't get this shit.
Nope. Somehow Universal always escapes this.
Mm-hmm.
And
even though it's not a fingerprint, it's a measure, but that's beside the point.
Well, yes, but Karen doesn't get that.
I know.
But they're going to escape this with what, in my opinion, is much scarier technology.
So, again, I'm not saying
I know
it's going
supposed.
to be. It's just supposed. I don't think it's actually going to be. It's just it looked nice on paper for the initial presentation.
I would not put money on that if I was Universal, because there are so many different bills in the works to limit the use of facial recognition technology.
Oh, I don't think they're actually going to.
That it would be stupid to try to do it.
It's like I truly believe the reason for the whole we want to have individual. You could buy a whole pass is so, like you said, someone with kids can go to Mario, Nintendo, and not go to Monsters.
Right.
But we'll see.
Here's my issue with that. Even if they are $20 tickets to each land, which I don't know what they're going to be, nobody is going to feel like they got their money's worth. because
I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that statement.
there are going to be land. There's always a land that doesn't have enough.
None of them
Yeah.
have enough.
And to do this like they want to with individual tickets, even if they are cheap tickets, every land needs to be an e-ticket land. Like,
Yeah.
Every land will have an e-ticket attraction. It may not be what you think it is. I've seen some of this. I've seen some of what's going to be happening with Donkey Kong, and damn, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I saw some. I saw some aerial footage of Epic
no.
Universe.
I'm not talking aerial footage. I'm talking sketches. I'm talking.
Oh,
This is gonna be good. Oh, Donkey Kong gonna be good. Donkey Kong gonna be real good.
well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I did hear that the vehicles for Donkey Kong are going to resemble mine cars, but there's going to be some points where the car itself is going to retract like an arm and makes you feel like you're falling.
You are on
off.
you are on a fake track.
Right.
You're on a fake track because either the Kuka arm or the real track is to the side or underneath. There's going to be points where it feels like you stop. There's going to be points where you feel like you're jumping. It's going to be it's a mine cart, and they watch out. This is the attraction to watch. This is what you're paying for at that part at Nintendo. It's Donkey Kong. They've known that since inception. That's why it's being built in Japan as we speak, and that's why when Nintendo opens in California next year with all the disappointment in the world from people, it's because Donkey Kong's not opening with it, but it's opening here. There's a reason it's opening here. They know Mario Kart's going over like a lead balloon. They know that it's been planned. They already know. But I agree with you, Dozer. I don't think they're going to. Plus, it's Universal. They're just going to say, here it is. I don't think you're going to have a central hub. And if you do, it's going to be, I think you're still going to have, if you want to go to Epic Universe Parks, you pay this.
Right.
Because also at the end of the day, if you're paying per land, then you have people thinking about money more often.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the problems with the Genie Plus, especially now that you have to buy Genie Plus the day of. You can't buy it in advance.
I know. Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about it more. Now I have a chance to say no. Whereas if my friendly neighborhood travel agent goes, hey, you want Genie Plus? Yeah, sure. Why not? Broop. I'm not thinking about it.
That's why I don't think they're actually going to do it. Frankly, again, I don't think they know what they're doing. I think they're holding so close to their vest. It's just.
Well, I think Universal's also waiting to see Disney's move, because
no, they're not.
You don't think okay, all right? Because I'm this is just me personally.
I'm telling you, Brian, for a fact, I know how both companies think internally at the moment.
They're just Universal's just going full steam ahead.
They're just done worrying about Disney for the most part. They worry about Disney, but they also get so much from Disney. They also get so many former Imagineers that the problem is they have no identity when they build. Where Disney always has a plan and identity, Universal never had that in the past. This is the first time they have a bit more. But even then, it's changing on the fly so much. There was supposed to be a show and a ride at Monsters. Now it's 2 rides.
Yeah.
They're changing things on the fly because
let me ask you this. How do you feel about the alleged monster theming area?
Love it. Dozer, haven't I said this since they were talking about Marvel possibly leaving Islands of Adventure?
We did Spider-Man to be Universal Monsters.
Take that whole. I love a Universal Monster section. I think it's great.
I'm saying though the theming though. Have you heard what the theme land is for the Universal Monsters?
As far as
it's not
Transsexual Transylvania.
Well, all I had in my mind was Chester and Hester's, because that's what the rumor that's the rumor is that it's supposed to be this roadside like tourist trap attraction area that pays homage to the Universal monsters in a cheesy way-ish, but then you go on the ride, and then the ride is actually like,
Van Helsing.
no, it's Frankenstein's castle.
It's Van Helsing. I don't care what anybody says. That's the Van Helsing plans. They can call it Frankenstein's castle all they want. It's still Van Helsing.
It's just if we're looking at the hero or the villain, it's still Van Helsing.
Yeah, I know it's Frankenstein's castle. I've seen the images. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's the Van Helsing plans. They can theme whatever they want. I've seen these for years. Those are the Van Helsing schematics.
Basically, the theming is what they're doing is that you're going into allegedly like a German town, so to speak.
I'm okay with this.
But it's like tourist traps. It's like them promoting, like going to like Roswell, New Mexico, and they always talk about like if you go out there, it's like all this Area 51 alien.
Yeah, but it makes sense that actually makes sense to me. Again, it has to be something accessible, easy to take. Think about Monsters Cafe. What was Monsters Cafe? It was all a giant homage, almost a tourist attraction stop, Hard Rock Cafe of the Universal Monsters.
Right.
It makes sense that it would be a roadside attraction. I think that's actually a good way to do it
because it's also for families too.
Well, what I was going to say, the most important thing. You can't have Timmy scared. Even if he's not going on the big scary rides, Timmy's going to be there.
Right.
What else? But other than that, it's just going to be a village.
Right.
It's going to be nothing special. And I'm just going to say it. It has to be that way. Otherwise, it's just Harry Potter.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And you need a hook. I actually think it's a pretty good hook. I'm okay with that being.
I think it's a great idea.
I think it's excellent.
It's something interesting. Plus, it's a way for them to actually bring over Monsters Cafe still. Like if they want to have a restaurant in that area, they can do it.
Monsters Cafe.
Not make it Monsters Cafe, but still have like the
Roswell Diner, but monsters.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
homage.
The homage.
I think it's great, and that actually makes more sense if that's the theming to have a show would still fit, but not to have a show because honestly, every time they keep mentioning a show there, I'm like, it's going to be Beetlejuice, right? Because it's going to be Beetlejuice, right?
Yeah.
But it also, and this is the weird thing, I trust Universal to tell the story that it's meant to be kitschy better than Disney did with Chester and Hester's, because that was the problem. Nobody got that it was supposed to be kitschy.
Right.
And also, with this, forgetting any other section, this particular section is going to be Universal's pet project. Remember, they saved the studio. They feel very strongly about their monsters.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very intrigued. That's another thing. Sorry, jump back to Hard Hats for a second. Universal Monsters Legends Collide. There will be a different winner every night.
Oh,
I expect the end. You have the three. You have Dracula. Wolfman and the Mummy. You will have a different winner every night.
That's cool.
Like Icons last year, you're gonna have probably a throne or a room at the end that's going to change every night. So you don't know who's going to be winning every night. Thank you for sparking that. Also, while we're on that topic, the Mummy is back. Like I thought, it's in tech rehearsals. Just in time for Halloween Horror Nights. Who'd have thunk it? But the Mummy's in tech rehearsals. It was up and down all day today, but the Mummy's back.
Yeah.
Have they said like any what new changes or what they've done?
Exactly. They've made it look nicer. They've revamped it. Brendan Fraser's still there. What happened? The truth is, what they did, they replaced the control box. The biggest thing they did is they replaced everything. They replaced they made it look nicer. I know Imhotep looks nicer at the beginning, and the middle section apparently looks impeccable with the fake out ending. They said it looks a lot better. They've made it look a lot nicer, but the biggest thing they did, they replaced the control panel. And to do that was very extensive. They were trying to open this 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was making it, you guys have been on, if you've never been on the Mummy, you ride through, you go backwards, turn to go up the main hill, launch up the main hill into the first part of the ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were turning and not moving.
Oh.
The control panel, the biggest fritz was that with the control panel. It turn, stall. every time. So Universal figured it out, but the Mummy is back.
Yay!
That's good.
Very good.
And
They
when
need
you
it.
talk,
They need a ride there. Bad.
Yeah, they do.
when you talk about lack of focus in a park, how Universal's never had that big vision.
What vision?
I was going to say the studio park is
Murder, She Wrote. Anybody?
the park.
And you know what's-
Anybody?
You know what's sad? That was the vision.
I
The
know.
vision was ride the movies. Here's
Well,
all
yeah.
your favorite attractions and here's all your favorite shows come to life.
Well, hey, look, back in the 80s, I mean, like that was something different. You know, you only had Epcot and Magic Kingdom, and then when Universal came to town, Michael Eisner was like, "Oh, we got to open up our own competition to Universal." And you have
First.
Universal, who
And not just competition. Eisner said we have to be
be the
first.
first, true.
And
But you have a movie corporation. Why not make a theme park about your?
No, it's just the cohesiveness of it. The nothing ever really fit, and I'll be the first to say it. The studio, Universal Studios Park, is a terrible layout.
It's just like, yeah, I guess because people just threw stuff down on the ground and see what stuck. Like, we'll put this here, we'll put that there. Yeah, I see what you mean.
And it was at the time they were really focused about Disney. Really.
Mhm.
And again, their ideas were just that's why the original Jaws failed. Their ideas were make it happen. They had ideas that you guys have seen for Cartoon World, right? Have you guys seen the original plans for like Dudley Do Right?
Oh yeah.
Where you were literally going to be sitting side by side
And
split in half by a buzzsaw
Yeah.
and go down separately. Those two lift hills, those two tracks at the end were always there. That was always some of the stuff they were planning. You look and go, how?
Yeah.
That's how you guys got in the problem with Shaw's and Ride and Show Entertainment. It was never Ride and Show Entertainment's fault. I have that on record here. I will say that till I'm blue in the face.
I never said it was.
I know, but I want my opinion to be made to always be known on that. It was never Ride and Show Entertainment's fault. God forbid one of them watches our podcast. I want them to know we support them. The Disney idiots got your backs.
The original Jaws attraction is something to behold. And
legendary.
Here's the problem. It's a Disney problem. You know, I'm not saying Disney has not done some fantastic rides lately.
Oh.
They absolutely have.
Yeah.
I hold my opinion for another week and a half.
But you know what? None of them have been ballsy.
They were playing it safe. Disney's
Flight of Passage, amazing ride. It's not that ballsy. You made a very much improved Soarin'.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's not ballsy. It's not.
It's all safe.
Yeah. And some people would sit there and go, well, that's what Disney's always done. No. Disney invented the tubular steel tracked roller coaster.
Splash Mountain. If that was not a shot in the dark, I don't know what was.
Yeah.
How Eisner knew that was going to succeed is beyond. We're going to take a movie no one's seen. We're going to make it a hit attraction, and you're going to love it. You're right. They created this tubular steel roller. Disney was always gutsy because they knew they could get away with it.
Look, if it wasn't for Disney, we legitimately do not know where roller coasters would be right now.
Yeah.
Like, theoretically, we would have gotten there, but how would have this path been different? Who would have been the first? Probably wouldn't have been Arrow.
It would have been one of the European boys.
Yeah, but if it's not Arrow, think of all the roller coaster companies.
You know, there's a company that doesn't get enough credit.
Arrow.
Think of how many companies still to this day use the arrow track.
And they still, everyone thinks they're dead. S&S Arrow, still a thing, still there, not dead yet. But you're right. No, it's hey, listen, every company from there has gone on to design their own. The B&M Roar,
Right.
Intamin, the iBox with RMC. And you're right. They all go on, but you're right. No, 100%. It would have gotten there. I think you would have gotten there, but we would have had a lot more wooden roller coasters.
Yeah. And
oh my God, they get the profits for Disney screwed the Philadelphia Toboggan Company. If you know, you know. Disney screwed them. They should sue Disney.
And
can you imagine that?
And just from there. Yeah, and Universal, they've got balls. They will build crazy shit ever. But also, all the crazy shit they build, almost none of it is replicated anywhere but Universal.
It can't be for most of it. They used to be. They're still a little crazy. Listen, the freaking Harry Potter. Anybody? There's a reason we have to replicate that castle because holy shit! I mean, who would have thought that Kuka arm thing would have worked?
Yeah,
And
but it hasn't spurned an output of Kuka arm rides.
Until this Frankenstein ride opens up. That's what they're saying.
It's their own ride, though. That doesn't count.
Frankenstein was the first plane, but I don't even. Every time somebody mentions Monsters Epic Universe and they say Frankenstein, I'm like Van Helsing. Don't even.
It's like Disney building another slow boat attraction or an Omni mover.
Well, that's when you get the Disney fans versus Universal fans. It's a stupid argument that a lot of have, but Universal only wants you to look at screens. Slow-moving attractions look at animatronics is Disney's thing, so don't.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love both for different reasons. But like, listen, I'm so happy Universal did what they did with Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't be happier with what they did.
Yeah,
that's how we got Horror Nights. It's all happened for a reason. God intervened on that one.
With more with Universal. Did you guys watch that video I sent you about the permits for Epic Universe? You guys watch that?
I missed it.
I think it was Theme Park Stop did the video on YouTube. But man, I tell you what, this whole possible great movie ride for Universal Studios, I want this to happen so bad. So bad. The concept that you walk in and it looks like you're in a movie theater and you're sitting in chairs, and then all of a sudden something happens, and then like it's pretty much the great movie ride / universe of energy, where it's like you're in one room and then the room just like separates and then you're on the attraction. But like the permits for this ride goes from a theater to sections to all of a sudden your individual chair as like your own I don't know how that's possible, but like it breaks it down all the way to the individual seat that can be separate from everything else.
And this log is going to come apart.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was like, I loved what I saw. I'm not sure, but honestly, looking at it, that to me should be, if you're going to have a free or an all accessible attraction in your area, bing, 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 bing. In fact, you could theme it to the areas of Epic Universe even, but I digress.
I'm just going to take a moment here and
please
tell Universal why, if it's going from, theater seating down to your individual chair, how terrible of an idea this is.
Maybe not the chair, but
I'm just saying, if all of a sudden you're riding and then Timmy's here and Mommy's over there,
I don't think they'd actually do it down to the chair.
Yeah, they would.
I'm just saying, like,
I think it could be rows.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it would be like section off into either 2 rows or like in section off in 4s.
You can't split groups.
I don't think you're actually going. After you're split, you're going to end up at the same thing. It'll be like a room.
Yeah.
But
sort of
I
like
agree.
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, something like that, where instead of actually in a row, your
Your
vehicles,
individual car separates.
right, and they're in
Mhm.
like sets of 4 instead of like in a row. They're just like separate like that.
I'm more saying to have it be convincing as a theater, you can't have clear divisions in those seats. You put too many divisions in, you break the illusion.
I don't think it's gonna get that far down. I think you're gonna have there's gonna be, when you sit down, it'll be something below you can't see. If it's,
Well,
again, I don't think, and again, there's Universal has so many patents and ideas. How long have the plans been out there? I keep mentioning for freaking Van Helsing. I mean, just because these are out there doesn't mean that I can't help it. It's my thing of the night. Apparently, it's my Rise of the Resistance tonight.
Thank God we don't drink every time Bruce brings up Rise of the Resistance.
Week and a half, not even a week and a half, 2 weeks.
there
2
you go.
weeks. We have 2 weeks, folks. In 2 weeks' time, you will have my Rise of the Resistance thoughts. Finally. I think it's a good idea. It's an interesting idea. It's a lot of those, they patented it out that way. It never actually happened that way. But it is a unique idea. I do like it.
Regardless of the vehicle system, though, the idea of having a universal great movie ride, twofold. One, it's universal, which means that they could basically say their entire library can be in one attraction, which means that it's their way to bring back Jaws, Back to the Future, like all the classics.
Or that's the other Monsters ride. Holy shit, maybe that is the other Monsters ride. Oh, I like that. Getting to go through all the individual monsters. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
I just add something that I find a little odd. How do you have Universal, a company that owns so many movies, so many franchises? How do they need so many third-party franchises? And how does it keep ending up in them writing a check to Disney?
I mean, Disney, that's just simple math. Disney owns so much, it was bound to happen.
I mean, it was just one of those things where I think Disney's just waiting for Universal to just release something. Disney goes, we want that. We want to buy it. It's like, oh, you're doing Simpsons? We want Simpsons.
Look, just be happy that nothing happened, that Disney can't suddenly try to buy Nintendo.
Because Disney did a lot of, not Disney, Universal, they did a lot of exclusive rights. They don't actually make that. They make them on their lot and they make them, but they didn't know.
Yeah.
They produce them and distribute them themselves. Universal's Universal's certainly one of the bigger hitters, but you're right. Disney's so big, and those I say this all the time. People talk about Disney; those tendrils go very far. You don't realize it of how much Disney really truly owns.
And I'll tell you what, people may not realize this, but Disney did approach J.K. Rowling before Universal did.
Reverse that.
Wait,
J.K. went to Disney first.
Oh, she went to Disney. That would make more sense.
Yeah, no. That's why, that's the rumors. That's why it was called Project Strong Arm. One, obviously, Kuka arm, strong arm, haha. But it was because they strong armed it away from it. Was never going to happen. JK at that point wanted complete control.
Right.
As we all know with Disney, that don't happen.
Yeah, no.
Universal basically licked her boot. That's why everything's so small at Hogsmeade, because they licked her boots, and whatever JK wanted, JK got. That's why there's no theme. That's why the Death Eaters are appearing for Horror Nights in Hollywood and not Orlando. I don't know how those original contracts went, but they weren't even allowed to theme for any holiday at Hogsmeade. End of discussion, period. I know that for a fact.
Right.
JK got whatever she wanted. To the extent that Audrey freaking Geisel had to talk to them. And if you don't know who that is, that's Dr. Seuss's wife.
And I think in the grand scheme of things, Disney did the right thing in not catering.
Yeah.
Because
you can't abandon what you are. And if they did that, it'd have been a disaster for them.
Well, and again, Universal got shit for how small Hogsmeade is and how limited the capacity is of those shops and all.
Yeah.
but the amount of shit they got is minor compared to the amount of shit Disney would get for that.
Oh my
And
god.
they got shit for it and praise for it at the same time. But
Yeah.
you're right. There's different companies. Universal can skate through a lot, and they know that. That's why I think if JK signed with Disney, she would have been vocally unhappy.
Mhm.
And as we all know with J.K. Rowling these days,
Mhm.
she don't hold anything.
No.
Hey, if it could look,
Apparently,
if she
Dumbledore
signed
was
with
like 3
Disney
minutes.
at this point, all of a sudden the conversation we would be having is, so when's Disney removing this Harry Potter land?
It would have been all of a sudden Dumbledore was really 3 midgets standing on top of each other and all sorts. We're really getting the worst shit. Like, what the hell, JK?
Well, and the original pitch, I think, from what I remember hearing and reading, was that the only Harry Potter if Disney got Harry Potter, the only area that it would be under would be Fantasyland. Like, it would not be in Hollywood Studios. It was basically the expansion of Fantasyland was where Wizarding World was going to be.
I've also that's not entirely true. I know for a fact Epcot was involved in the talks.
For London, I did hear. Okay, I did. All right,
World
maybe
Show, not that World Show Place.
Which
There's an area behind London.
Yeah.
That's what they were going to take over there. That was an idea for that as well.
there's been many propositions to do something with World Showplace, but there's one problem. World Showplace brings a shit ton of money. It is the corporate event center of Disney.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Well, yeah, but that's what the consideration was, is that maybe the corporate event center will build another one. It's Harry Potter.
And right now, they're working on another one.
Yeah, that was it. That was the we couldn't do this. It was, but my understanding was she was being a hardball and was not going to listen. That's why Universal pulled out all the punches. Audrey Geisel did not want anything to do with Universal until her publicist said, "You need to go down to Orlando and check out what they're doing. I think you're going to like it."
Yeah.
She did, and we all know how that went.
Yeah.
That's why she called JK and said, "I'm telling you, these people are bad." And she flat out, but I think the rumor is she said, "These people are not Disney. They're going to cater to you." Basically, they're going to cave and sit at your feet and go, "Yes, ma'am, you are God, ma'am. We love you, ma'am."
Which, in the grand scheme of things, at this point, I can't imagine her liking what Seuss Island has become or hasn't become.
Hasn't they?
It was good back then, but
It was.
Universal's not known for their upkeep. I'm just glad Universal didn't get Harry Potter. Not Universal. Disney never got Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Disney can do enough of their own stuff. I just think it would have been how do I put this politely? We don't need that insanity in the parks, if you know what I mean.
They get enough. They generate enough on their own.
Yeah.
Star Wars days and everything. Can you imagine Harry Potter days at Disney? How bad it would have been. How disgusting. Mickey and the Wizard.
It would be too much. I think it would be an overload if Disney had the Harry Potter franchise. It would just be.
And I'm just gonna say what needs to be said here. Sorcerer Mickey's gonna get pissed off, and we'll all see what happens when Sorcerer Mickey messes up.
I was gonna say, would she throw a hissy fit about Sorcerer Mickey and Magician Mickey on Main Street?
No. She might throw a hissy fit about Harry Potter appearing on Main Street. That's the thing. She wanted everything concise.
Yeah.
That's why, like, the Diagon Alley there's built this way for a reason of feeling like you're transported. It was done for many reasons, but that's, again, she not easy to deal with. I can't only imagine how bad everything must have been.
Yeah, I would not want to work with her personally. I wouldn't want to work with most of the people at Disney personally. There are many people I would love to have lunch with.
Oh, sure. That was creepy.
My power went out for a second.
Oh.
I lost power earlier today. Um,
I don't have a flashlight near me, do I? Damn it. I hate that.
but Disney just doesn't work that way. I'd love to have lunch or dinner with Joe Rody, but I wouldn't want to spend a week with him.
I agree.
And if I'm having lunch with Joe Rody, he does not get to pick the menu.
Facts.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're eating, and that's the problem.
Exactly. Knowing how they've worked and everything, there's a bit of an endurance test both ways. And there's a lot of walking on eggshells, with Disney, especially with the top people. It's less about staying on their good side and more avoiding their bad side, my understanding.
Because
you can always be on even if you're neutral, you're fine. But once on their bad side, there's no going off.
Look, when you're dealing with the top levels of Universal, you're dealing with powerful people, high-level executives. When you're dealing with the top levels of Disney, you're more or less dealing with the Illuminati.
Yeah, you are.
Because when we talk about this, Universal's still very separate from everything else.
Mm-hmm.
They have this theme park division is only in Orlando. That's where they're based out of. Disney, whether anybody likes it or not, is still based out of California. And those tendrils go so far. Your Illuminati, honestly, I don't think Illuminati even covers it. It is the best of the best secret, cross them, you're done. You literally will never work in this town again.
They're the skulls.
Literally. It's okay, fine. You never want to work again? No problem. We'll make sure of that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things of Disney's power, knowing, and ability to manipulate actually came from my mother.
Go on.
My mother had this thing. Even when we're on vacation, we went to church because we're a good Catholic family.
Oh, God. Are you going to mention that mega church?
I am going to talk about Mary, Queen of the Universe.
I was going to say Mary, Queen of Peace, Mary, Queen of the Universe. What's she called?
Queen of the Universe.
Thank you.
Which is not a real name of the Virgin Mary, but that's a different story. I don't know where they came up with that church name.
No, Judge the Church is the Queen of the Universe.
It also needs to be stated it's technically not a church; it's a chapel.
Yes.
Because it has no permanent parishioners. Look, I went to 13 years of Catholic schooling. I had to learn something, damn it. But what my mom heard, and in it they said, the book of the people who funded the church. Their names are buried under the church. AKA, they don't want you to know them. AKA, that church was built by the Walt Disney Corporation. Because they knew when it was built, you're not getting Catholics over a long weekend if they can't go to church.
I'm just going to say what needs to be said here. It's almost like Disney owns a lot of property. I'm not talking Disney World itself. It's almost
as Disney the company.
Disney itself built housing and stuff near there. It's almost like they had access to that area. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it was 100% built by Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Look at it.
So, they know what they need. They know you can probably get most of the Protestants without needing them to go to church. And Protestants are also more willing to do non-denominational services. Catholics, not so much. So
there's only one church will get me out in Central Florida. Until Horror built a church for Jack, I'm good.
And this is a complete aside question because I don't even know if they still do this anymore. But I know back in the day, Disney used to hold non-denominational services.
I don't think they do anymore.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say I don't think they do, especially
I
because
know they did. I don't think they have done it in a long time.
the venue they did it in isn't there
Correct.
because it was the Luau Pavilion.
Yeah, I don't think they do it anymore. For obvious reasons, for many obvious reasons.
But no, Disney and the higher ups are the Illuminati. I'm not even getting into weird stuff. That's just sadly how it is. They own your soul.
Speaking of weird stuff, Brian sent something that I want to point out, and I want anyone who actually might be listening to this to know. Killer Clowns from Outer Space is getting a video game. It is an asymmetric game. It is 3-on-7, 3 clowns, 7 people. They're putting a lot of work into this, and I will update as we go. I've read developer interviews. I think this is something that if you're even just casual gamer, this is something to pick up. Yes, I'm selfish. I don't want to hear it. Yes, this is my only shot at a sequel, and I'm taking it.
I just want all the 80s retro horror movies become video games now, because you even said there's a Texas Chainsaw game coming out.
Coming out soon. They're all there's a Ghostbusters game. They're all asymmetrical, which has not been the best genre, other than Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight. I might have combined the two in my head. Other than that one succeeding, they haven't really, because it's one verse. The first one was Friday the 13th, which is this is the same developer, but the same producer, but they've learned since then. I know with Killer Clowns, you're gonna have 3 people playing as clowns. You have Shorty, Chubby, Jumbo, Spike, and Rudy. They're planning to update it. There's going to be more. You have 7 classes of humans. What I like, unlike Friday the 13th and the others, if you die, you take over as a person. You take over a random class until the whole town is dead. You keep playing this game, or the clowns, until the clowns kill you all, or if you have a massive wipeout, or you take out the clowns. They're working on this. I think this is going to be one that sticks. If you didn't watch the trailer, even with the trailer, when it opens, you have no idea what game it's for. It's some guy in his room dancing around to music as things are exploding outside. He hears a knock at the door, goes to look. It's a stack of pizza boxes, and you can see Bizbo's hair just peeking out on top. That's when I lost my shit because I knew who it was. And pizza.
So this has me thinking. We're talking an asymmetrical video game, so my mind is flipped to versus things, and we've had Alien versus Predator. We've had Freddy versus Jason. Are there any other horror movies you'd love to see a versus of?
There were supposed to be more. You were supposed to have Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. You were also supposed to have one of Freddy versus Jason versus Chucky.
I have one. I mean, we're Leprechaun versus Chucky. Leprechaun versus Chucky. I want that movie to happen.
If Warwick Davis would do it, hell fucking yeah, because the insults. I just saw a meme the other day with one of my favorite lines from a Chucky movie ever is, but the TV said violence was bad. No, son, violins. That scratchy thing is ruining this goddamn country. Oh gosh, Don Mancini, never leave us. Also, Chucky season 2 is coming. Can't wait.
They should call it Child's Play on St. Patty's Day.
Can't do that.
Can't use Child's Play. You can only use Chucky.
Oh shit.
Look, you guys, you have some good ones.
Chucky's Charms.
I would just call it Lep versus Chuck. It's magically delicious, or it's magically malicious, or something like that.
Magically malicious. I like that. That would be the tagline for the movie.
Lep Chuck. It's better than it sounds.
Yeah, just anything. Because one of the taglines for Chucky the TV show was "Don't fuck with the Chuck." It had glam shots of Chucky like attacking, and it literally said "Don't fuck with the Chuck." Look.
But you guys both have good ones. But I hate to break it to you. I've got you beat. This is the versus movie we need.
Oh, I didn't tell you my best internal idea.
Then
but
give me your
continue.
best one.
Yeah,
Give me your
right, yeah,
best
what's
one, and let's
yours?
see if I could beat you.
Killer Clowns versus Killer Tomatoes.
Oh,
Literally the same one. Literally the same one.
That's because we're the same person, buddy.
We are.
I've had this idea for a while now, but can you imagine that? A small town, just take a random small town, and
Yeah.
the tomatoes are attacking, and as the tomatoes think they've won, all you just see is.
No. Clowns are first, so they could have tomatoes thrown at them because they're bad.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
That's the yeah. The humans actually have to use the tomatoes to kill the clowns.
The tomatoes to attack the clowns. Listen, killing killer clowns is not hard. As long as you can aim.
Killing tomatoes isn't hard either, but
bop the nose, good to go.
I'm just saying.
And the
It
movie
writes itself.
The title should be like Killer Clowns and Killer Tomatoes. Need I say more? or like Killer Clowns and Killer Tomatoes.
It's
like
clowns with the K versus tomatoes. It's D dash vine. It's divine.
Yeah, I would see that. I would see that verse.
Oh, I would see that in a heartbeat.
And all of it's like 80s glory too. Like you have
it has to be 80s.
It has to be like that vintage feel, like even like shoot it in 8mm. Like you gotta shoot it like old school.
I was listening to somebody and they were talking about we're getting all these old horror movie franchises back. And the one they keep fucking up and they haven't gotten right in years is Friday the 13th.
That's rights issue. It's coming.
But you know why they haven't gotten it right?
Also, that last thing was pretty good, but continue.
Because they keep going serious.
The last one was a much more lighthearted take, if you will. But yes, I agree.
Wait, which one was that?
The one we saw in college. That's the last one that came out.
The Michael Bay one?
Yeah.
That was lighthearted. That was like...
Okay. Really? We're going to have a discussion about which Friday the 13th is bad. Do I really need to bring it out of the box? Because Jason Takes Manhattan sitting right here waiting for me to pull it out.
Not Jason X? That one didn't do it for you?
Jason X is an Oscar winner compared to Jason Takes Manhattan. Oscar winner! Oscar, I say!
Jason in Space is an Oscar winner for you. Okay.
When's the last time you actually sat down to watch Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan? He punches a guy's head off, for Christ's sake.
That's
this
true.
Movie is awful. I tried last year. And I'm like, I'm going to give this a shot. 5 minutes in, I'm like, it's as bad as I remember. It's just like Halloween 3. Just every time I'm like, maybe this time it's going to be good. Nope. No, it's not. Just stop her.
Or Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. That was bad. That was bad.
Because of that, we got Dream Warriors, so shush.
I'm just going to say, I suddenly want either the three of us or preferably professional comedians. But I need a Mystery Science Theater, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh.
No, the three of us. Because,
yes.
Trust me, this professional comedians are one thing. We will be unhinged in what we say.
We could just do a live, like one of those, like
live reactions. Start like movie now and
view like a viewing party. We'll do like a viewing party.
Fine, but we have to have a warning beforehand. People need to understand this movie is that bad. We are not just joking. Yes, I'm not. Listen, Jason X is a bad movie. Really, Jason X just copying. It's just copying. Went to space before it was cool.
Hey, look, I know you
Leprechaun 4, Leprechaun in Space. The only thing better than Leprechaun in Space is when he went to the hood because he liked it so much he went back.
To the hood. Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, I know, Bruce, you liked Prey, but you were like, it's a Predator movie.
It was fine. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to think I didn't dislike it, but it was overhyped to me. It was just ho hum. Where like Nope, I really liked Nope. I really enjoyed myself.
I was just gonna. Yeah. All right. So your review on Nope.
To me, it's one of Peele's best so far. I think I might like it best. It's that obviously it's between that and Us.
Okay. Really?
Jordan Peele just kind of gets me. Get Out's a good movie. It's just not a horror movie, folks. I'm sorry. It's a suspense thriller.
Yeah,
It's just not what the people again, it was overhyped to me, but I really liked Nope. It's a little more lighthearted in a way, but at the same time, still it was a little long. Where other people like it's disjointed, doesn't make sense. I thought it had a nice, thorough follow through. I thought it did everything well. I really liked what he did with it. I really thought it was a fine movie. I really enjoyed myself.
And it is about aliens.
I'm afraid to say too much, but it is about Alien.
Okay.
I'm afraid to say too much because it could spoil it. Worth checking out when it comes available.
Okay.
I will be buying it and watching it again and again. I really enjoyed I really liked everything about it. It's a little long, so that is a detractor from it. It had moments where I'm like, but thinking about it, I was like, okay, well that didn't make sense. And I thought about it, I was like, actually, that did make sense. He really did think this through. Endings have a bit abrupt. And one could argue about the ending, but I really enjoyed myself. It's a good light horror movie. It's not a sci-fi horror movie.
Okay.
It's not super heavy. Light on the real gore. There's only a couple scenes that are bloody.
It's on my Plex server, so maybe I'll check it out.
Did you see the Terror Tram actually added that now to Universal?
Jupiter's Claim, yeah. Well, actually, Jupiter's Claim not just to the Terror Tram. That's just there.
Right. Yes, that's like a permanent thing, like year round now. Is you can actually visit the set of Nope at the.
Also, holy shit! The town they built does look a lot like what's in the movie.
Really?
A lot. I was watching, going, holy shit! Holy shit! God damn! Of course, Hollywood built that because Hollywood.
Right. I mean, because I was impressed with the set at Universal Hollywood, but
I would not want a house in Hollywood in Universal based on Nope. That would be a mistake.
They have one out in California, though.
California's with Jupiter's Claim, it's part of the Terror Tram, and it works.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that would work.
Right. Florida
would not work as a haunted house. If you did, you could make it work, but you'd have to really work at it. The big obvious monster, the aliens, are the issue of why it wouldn't work.
Got it.
Okay.
Or checking out though.
Have you guys watched House of Dragon?
No.
Refuse. Full refusal.
I will say this.
Unless you tell me, I just finished Sandman today. Unless you tell me it is one of the best shows I'll ever see, I'm refusing.
I won't say that. But but I will say, as a Game of Thrones fan, I enjoy watching this show. The issue I have with this show, though, is that it's Game of Thrones. Like, when Game of Thrones first came out, they had me by the first episode. The whole like suspense reveal that Jaime Lannister and his sister are like actually in a loving relationship, a romantic relationship, intimacy, and then they push one of the Stark children out of the tower, and that's how the first episode left.
Look, I stopped watching Game of Thrones after season 3.
Oh, really?
Smart.
It's a time commitment to watch, and then
gotta remember
we were just entering, because I watched it late. I did not watch it in time. I think we were just entering season 5 or 6, whichever one is where we have left the books.
Oh, that's the final season.
No, the one before it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 seasons where there's
Two
no
seasons
books.
where we've left the books.
Okay.
I know that for a fact because I've read the books. In fact, we were in college when book 5 came out and I read it. The second to last season is where we officially left the books because of a certain character's fate, which was left up in the air, is now decided.
Oh.
And I just kind of went, you know what? I don't want to see these people's interpretations of the ending.
But it's actually not their. That's what's bullshit. It's not their interpretation of the ending. Martin's an asshole.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
like he said, he knows that, like, they told him what the ending was, and they got it right, and that's why they got the show. Blah blah blah. But I don't believe him, and he's going to fucking change it. So I don't care.
Well, that's really not quite right. When my book comes out in 2048, and then the final book comes out in the year 3055, honestly, I think they're both done. He's just waiting to die to release them. That's my take on it, because screw you, jackass. I'm not reading them at this point. That's a time commitment I don't have. In his books, book 4 is tough to read. You spend 3 books getting to know all these characters, and book 4 is like, Kennedy! Here's all new characters to learn about, because it was originally a trilogy. He was supposed to write 3 books. 3. He's now taken like more than 12 years to write book 6.
I just stopped wasting time watching it, and honestly, I haven't missed it.
I mean,
I don't
say
need a prequel. Personally, I don't need a prequel. I know how it ends.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. Like this shows you, like, my issue with the House of Dragon is that, like, with Game of Thrones, you had the rival families fighting over the throne, and in this show, it's like only one house. You're only focusing on characters in one house, right? But the house is splitting into 2, possibly 3. Like, the house is dividing. The issue, though, is that there's no thing for me to latch onto, because it's like, okay, all these characters are going to die at some point. It's a commitment. I mean, like, these episodes, there's only been 2 episodes out. They're each like 90 minutes long.
Ugh.
Yeah. And most of the time,
most
of the time, nothing happens. It's just typical Game of Thrones. It's like there's a couple of fighting sequences, a couple of sex scenes, a bunch of dragons, and people sitting around talking politics. That's it. Like,
simple question: is it possible to write a concise fantasy story? Is this possible?
Yes and no. It is. It's not impossible, but current day and age, it's a lot harder. Well, one thing you have to remember here, I hate to say it like this. I'm going to assume you didn't see it. Brian, did you see Dune?
No.
Okay. George R.R. Martin, Dune is where he got his idea for Game of Thrones from. I want to be very clear on that. People need to understand that he got this idea from Dune. I've read the Dune books. I've read all the Dune books. I've read all of his books. That's where he got his initial idea from, was Dune.
So instead of the future, it's in the past.
Kind of. But I'm talking the fighting families,
right.
all the factions. That's where I fully believe he got this idea to write these books from. If he grew up reading them, and I'm not saying he meant to. That's where I'm in the firm believer that's where he got his idea from.
His inspiration.
It's like you just said, though. I think it's impossible. HBO's grasping at straws. HBO realized, once this ends, I got nothing. I have nothing in the pipeline.
Don't worry, Discovery Warner's going to cancel it before it's over.
I know,
probably.
I know, but I'm just saying, at the time when this Game of Thrones is ending, HBO is going, we usually had at least 5 shows going. We don't. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
That's where they spent. This is and think about that, Brian. This is the sole surviving of like 3 Game of Thrones projects, spinoffs.
True.
The only thing HBO has coming in the pipeline I'm looking forward to is The Last of Us, but
And we'll see how that. Yeah, I know.
It's looking so freaking good.
It does.
It looks so good. I'm ready. I'm ready to hurt. I'm so ready to be in pain. Oh, can't wait.
All the places that used to make great shows just can't anymore. USA, HBO.
USA was the place for so long.
They just can't.
Yeah, USA. You almost had one every day of the week. You had a show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's up with that.
It's hard. It's hard. Streaming has ruined a lot, and even then, it. Say what you will about the last season, like Netflix. Netflix is what do you got? You got Stranger Things. Well, when it takes you 2 years to make a season,
how is Sandman? Was that good?
It's very good. It tells a nice, concise story. No idea about a season 2 yet. The problem with Sandman, like if you guys remember Warehouse, it's a sci-fi. It's a sci-fi fan. It's just a more fantasy show. They're very hard to break and very expensive. So they're not sure about a season 2 yet. It's set up for a season 2. They're based on graphic novels Neil Gaiman wrote.
I read those. I read those in high school.
I only read about half of them. I was in high school and I'd sit at Barnes and Noble. I'd read one or part of one, take a picture where I left off, and continue the next time.
Yeah, I heard nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
I did it all. I did it with off. I read about half of them. You get a good portion in. It was good. I liked it a lot. I'm a big fan, but who knows if you're going to get a sequel? I'm okay if there's no season 2. It is what it is. But that's the problem nowadays. So much streaming is why you don't get these things.
Yeah.
And I do have one question for Brian, because I know Bruce has not seen it yet. Brian, how on God's green earth did they make all of Top Gun Maverick and not stick one Star Wars reference in that damn thing?
I like how you knew I didn't watch it today. You didn't even assume. You're like, Bruce didn't watch it today. Yeah, no, he's.
I never even realized. Like, I never. Yeah,
It's half the fucking movie.
I know.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
It, like, to me, that was as plain as day as the Halo show not calling the. Why can't I think of his name? The Rogue Spartan Protocol. Not calling it Order 66.
You mean Soren?
Yeah.
The Soren Protocol?
Yeah.
Oh my God, those are why. Now I'm still gonna be moping all night, like, when's Halo season 2 coming?
Yeah,
but it's like
Top Gun, like that.
Top Gun Maverick, I will be watching it this week.
It's really good. But
you're right.
You're right. I mean the entire film, not one Star Wars reference. I mean, like
and my point of how good it was, I watched it twice in one day.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
I'm looking for. I've heard only good things about this. I have it. I need to watch it.
It makes you want to rewatch the original movie. Like the whole film is just like. I remember walking out of the movie theater going, God, I feel great after watching that film. Like, not one of those things where I'm like, yeah, let me get into a fight. It was such a feel good summer. It was just a feel good movie.
What movie do you leave looking to get into a fight?
No. I mean, like a fighter jet. Like, I want to get into a fighter. Yeah, no, I said a fighter jet.
I only heard fight. I was like, Brian, what the fuck, dude?
We're talking movies, not a Toby Keith concert.
Yeah, Roadhouse. That's the film that gets me. Yeah. I don't even want to talk.
They're already making it.
I know.
Like, I know. I don't want to discuss it tonight.
I don't want this film. Jake Gyllenhaal. Why?
Navy SEALs 2? What?
I actually like him as an actor. He really won me.
Oh no, he's good. I don't need a remake.
He really won me over when I saw him in the revival of Sunday in the Park with George. He really won me over. It's like, holy shit, this guy can actually act.
Yeah.
Jake, just stop. Just
it's like, well, it's like they did a remake of Point Break. Like, no, you don't do.
I forgot that existed.
Right? Like, there's just.
I forgot that was a thing.
There are movies that existed in their time, and they existed in their time because they made sense. They don't make sense existing at any other point.
Like, yeah, there's just certain films you don't remake.
Can I also just say, Hollywood needs to come together and discuss remakes. There's a certain movie that's having its 40th anniversary this year. Fathom Events, I saw this today, is releasing it in theaters for a few days, which had a remake that just lost the entire point of the original. Talk about Poltergeist.
Oh.
Can we just discuss remakes are supposed to not be reinventionings, not reimaginings. If you're remaking it, just take the script that's there, maybe update it for 21st century, and remake the stupid thing.
It's like Gus Van Zant's remake of Psycho with
Or
Vince Vaughn and the late
And he was praised for it.
and the late Anne Heche.
Vince Vaughn's career has peaked at Freaky.
Yeah.
He will never do better than portraying a 16-year-old girl. And that's
that movie was fantastic.
That movie's beyond fantastic. If you haven't seen The Black Phone yet, check it out.
I gotta see Black. I gotta see Black.
So good, Ethan Hawke. Oh, on fire. Such a good movie. More suspense than horror. It's got supernatural elements. More suspense than horror, but such a good movie.
At the beginning of his career, whoever thought that Ethan Hawke would be like the quintessential horror movie actor?
He does some banana stuff. Oh man, he's become great. That's why the daughter who's in Stranger Things. Between her parents, she's set.
I know Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke. I mean, my God.
It's a pretty damn good set.
She's got enough connections and she's got enough natural ability.
I'll buy it. Now I just want to go see some of these movies. I may actually go watch one. Not tonight, but eventually.
Not tonight. I know.
I will watch Top Gun. How long is Top Gun?
2 hours.
Yeah.
I'll try tomorrow night.
It's peaking right at the top of my window. I'm a 2-hour guy. If it's over 2 hours, I really got to consider it.
No, that's my problem. Nope. It's a little long. I think it tops in about 220.
Oh.
I thought it's hard to judge because of trailers.
For me, I have like comedies and horror films are like a hard and fast. That's a hard 2-hour cutoff for me because you get fatigued.
Right.
2:15.
That's not too bad.
It's not awful. Again, it's a little long. That's what I'm saying. It's a little long. It's not bad. It's hard for me to call this a straight up horror film. It's more sci-fi.
All of his films seem on the sci-fi spectrum. I never felt Jordan Peele's films to be.
Us is the only one that skewed more horror than
maybe.
Sci-fi.
I guess.
Again, skewed.
Yeah. I mean, it's dark. It's like a darker tone. It's not too horror.
Yes, Dozer.
Just point of fact, and I hate this with all movies. A setting is not a genre.
What do you mean?
A sci-fi movie is more or less means it's in the future at this point.
No. Sci-fi. Oh, see,
what I'm saying is the fact that it is science fiction does not really denote a genre to me, whereas a genre more dictates the emotions it is going to pull from me. Is it going to be a comedy? Is it going to be a horror? Is it going to be a thriller?
It's more it's more suspense. It's more like where Alien is suspense sci-fi because it's the suspense of what's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really horrific. It has horrific elements, but it's like that's what Black Phone. It's a suspense movie to me. It's got some supernatural elements to it, but it's a suspense of, oh my God, what's going to happen to this kid next? Is he going to make it out?
Right.
Whereas fantasy and sci-fi are rules for the setting. Whereas, you need to kind of have both.
I should say, you know what? Nope's more of a monster movie.
Okay.
That's a better way to say it. It's a monster movie.
Okay. I can get behind that.
I completely agree. And this is my favorite point in case on this is you can ask 100 people and you will get a 50-50 split. on if Alien is a sci-fi movie or a horror movie. Because it's a horror movie following the sci-fi rules of engagement.
That's how I look at Alien.
It's a horror movie with sci-fi elements.
That's how I look at it. It's not a sci-fi film. Like Star Wars is sci-fi.
No, absolutely not. Star Wars follows the fantasy rules of engagement. I took a course in this, and that was like the point in case. It is
fantasy.
100% fantasy.
Okay. So what would be an example of a sci-fi element then?
Science
grounded in reality.
Yeah.
Like there's a scientific explanation for everything. Whereas Star Wars, especially as it existed in the original trilogy, there is no scientific explanation. It is the Force and what is around you. It is more magic than science.
So what would you consider Jurassic Park then?
That's science fiction. That's based in science.
Science fiction.
Okay.
There's a scientific backup. Everything in Amber. We created
cloning.
this using science and cloning.
So that would be a
science
sci-fi
fiction.
Okay.
And you look at the superhero movies, which are their own genre, but they can fall into one of two categories. They could either be science fiction or, depending on how you look at it, alternative history. They really push the alternative history hard, but a lot of them are retelling actual events. I'm looking at you, Captain America.
I was just going to say Captain America is the only one that really comes to mind there.
Until we get to the ultimate alternate history film. Somebody just buy the rights to Wolfenstein already, damn it.
Well, that's where I was going to come back to Prey. So, like, Prey, you have this historical element to it because it takes place in the 1700s. And I love that concept, mixing that with, I'm assuming would be considered horror. It wouldn't be sci-fi, even though he's an alien.
It's more of a monster movie.
Right. It's a monster. It's like a period monster piece.
It's a monster movie with sci-fi elements. It's
science
also fiction rules of engagement. Think of them as rules of engagement.
He's using science. He's using futuristic technology. He's not using anything that in ways of it coming apart and exploding, but he's using bombs, guns. He's using claws. He kind of uses like Force. Oh, you have claws? I pull out claws. Oh, you can shoot things. So can I. My guns are just more scientifically advanced than yours.
I just love that concept though of the alternate history tie-in. And it's like what you said earlier, Dozer. It's like, give me Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter with Predator. Like, fucking right. Like, give me that.
But here's the thing. It needs to be a continuation. It needs to be the end of Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. So that at that point, he is a vampire.
Right.
Because vampires versus predators is something that is very curious to me that I kind of want to see.
Yeah.
They're about equal, especially because one of Predator's biggest advantages, theoretically, he can't see them.
Well, that's what obviously she did what she did in the whole I'm smarter than an animal.
Barely.
Cop out. She got lucky.
What worked for me in that movie was more the fact of their use of so little dialogue. It's a very dialogue-light movie.
It's better than The Revenant.
That was the other connection that I had.
Better than The Revenant.
When I'm watching the Prey, I'm like, my God, it has like that Leonardo DiCaprio CGI bear.
I swear to God, paint drying is more entertaining than The Revenant.
That movie was pretty bad.
Glad I didn't watch it.
It's awful. And I went with somebody, oh, you're going to love it. I hear this movie's so great. I sat there. Oh my God, wasn't that just so wonderful? And I had to look at them and go, uh-huh. Oh God, it was torture.
2 hours of fighting a CGI bear.
2 hours of nothing.
Pretty much.
It's Castaway, but bad Castaway.
Yeah.
It's if Tom Hanks said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a bad movie here. That's what it would have been.
With a satellite phone in a box the whole time.
I swear to God, I watched the musical adaptation of 13 on Netflix, and I swear to God, that's better than The Revenant.
So, is on a scale of The Revenant to Jason Takes Manhattan, which is worse?
Oh my God!
Oh.
You found the one movie. You have found the one movie. I can't believe I'm about to say this. I'd rather watch Jason Takes Manhattan. And that's saying something. Because I'd rather watch Paint Dry than watch either of those movies.
Yeah.
So, I had a moment. It ties into this, I swear. I was sitting at the cigar shop the other day, and there was nothing on TV. Except they were playing all the Men in Black movies back to back.
Oh, dear God.
And I sat there and I went, they could have just stopped at 1.
Hey, I like 2 and 3.
And then, a little bit later, somebody comes in and one's over. We're watching 2, and he just goes, 2, the best one. Okay. And then as we're watching 3, someone else comes in and literally goes, 3, this is the best one. Never heard somebody say that.
I like 3. I thought 3 brought everything together. It made a nice trilogy out of it. I liked 3.
I mean,
I like 3. It ain't the best one.
No, it's not the best one. The first one's still the best one out of all of them. I just like them as a trilogy.
I like them. 2 has become hard to watch.
Yeah.
Not for anything else other than terrible CGI.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a given.
No, I'm saying the original Power Rangers movie might have had some better CGI.
Ooze.
And that shit was terrible.
Oh, Paul Freeman is
I've
Ooze.
never actually seen the original Power Rangers movie.
I remember going to the theaters to see that Power Rangers
I
film.
wanted to see that movie so bad. Through divine intervention, it was never able to see it. The one time my cousin my grandmother had taken my cousin, and my parents were like, he's been dying to see this. You didn't think to it. And they were coming over to our house after. I was like, by the time it came out to video, I had lost all interest. So
My favorite.
I've never ever seen the Power Rangers movie.
I was talking to somebody and they're going, why is the movie so different from the TV show? I'm like, well, they had to make the whole movie. What? They didn't make the whole TV show.
Yeah.
It's 2 shows spliced into 1.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's a Japanese show where everything without the helmets, that's American actors doing American actor things. The show is delightfully terrible. I love it.
I loved it as a kid so much.
Nothing will
I didn't hate the new movie.
Oh, the remake.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it.
I never even saw it.
It's not bad. It was okay.
Is that the one with what's her face?
The answer is yes.
The girl from Hunger Games and Elizabeth Banks when she plays Rita. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
This is making me remember the old Super Nintendo game.
Oh my God.
The fighting game?
No, it was a beat 'em up.
Yeah.
The beat 'em up game. Yeah, sorry.
But you got to pick and choose which power. You had 5 characters to choose. Oh yeah.
And I'm just sitting here thinking about playing it and going, how often was a Power Ranger on their own? Oh, wait, never.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they split off into 2 and 3. You never had one. Like, no wonder I'm losing. I need someone to kick these putties.
That's true.
Oh, classic.
Oh man.
And I think at this moment we have jumped the shark.
We have jumped the shark. It is time to call it.
Yeah. Yes,
It's
it is.
time. It's time. It's Vader time. But until next week, we're the Diz Idiots. We're the idiots.
So you don't
You
have,
don't have
to be.
Have a real good